All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our 2023 workshop. I'm calling it the Homecoming, and you're going to realize why after we are together today. But I'm really grateful for you. I'm really grateful that you took the time to be here with me, and I'm grateful you took the time to be with yourself for an hour, because we're going to deep dive into a whole paradigm, a whole strategy to create a year that just lights you up. We all want that, right? A year that just feels like, wow, I really came home to myself in 2023. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're going to do a lot of fun things. I'm going to keep it to an hour. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. So just so you know, I was on a free masterclass on the 1st with this incredible coach, and we went 3 hours, 15 minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got a shower, but it was so amazing. And it was such high value, but we'll be here for about an hour. I thought it would be fun to start with a couple of my favorite things of 2022 and hear from you what your favorite things were, kind of like Oprah's favorite things. Then we're going to walk into, like I said, a whole new paradigm for how to craft goals that might be a paradigm that you've never done before. And I think it has the potential to absolutely change things for you, and is the kind of paradigm that you will be able to say goodbye to needing so much motivation and discipline. How does that sound? If we could just say goodbye a little bit to, like, I don't need to, like, oh, I just need to be more disciplined. I need to be more motivated. Nope, this strategy, you won't need to rely on those two things, which is really freeing. Okay. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you ways that you can work with me in 2023. And one of the things I'm going to be sharing at the end is how to get $1,000 program from me for free. So really excited to share that with you. But open up your chat rooms, everyone. I want to know, what were your favorite books of 2023? I thought I would start there because I'm such, like, learning is my, I'm a student, just true and true, right? And I thought it would be fun to share my favorite books in case you were wanting to know kind of what I was reading or what you might want to be reading in 2023. Oh, you picked one of them. Kara is the Higher Life Client Concierge. If you ever need anything from Kara, it is Kara at the Higher Life team. And The Way of Integrity is one of my top picks by Martha Beck. Probably my first or second favorite book of all time in my life. And it just came out this year, but Martha Beck was known and kind of dubbed as the #1 life coach in the world. She's like, I didn't even really know I was doing life coaching. But anyways, if you follow her, you just love her work. And it's really the idea. I think the reason I love it so much is because The Way of Integrity is about restoring wholeness in yourself. And it leads me to my second book, because these two kind of went together in a really powerful way. And the next one is The Myth of Normal by Dr. Gabor Mate. Now, this book has an incredible, beautiful cover that I don't know where I put. So, The Myth of Normal. And he's a psychiatrist, one of the top leading psychiatrists in the world. And the reason why I love these two books is kind of why I'm hosting this workshop. If you remember my banner for the workshop, it was like, new year, new you, new year, more you. And the way I see being a human, the way I see what it is to kind of live this life, it's just a constant returning, a constant remembering, constant coming home to oneself. And what do I mean by that? Dr. Gabor Mate, he describes healing as a return to wholeness. So I like to think of, like, if you went to the baby nursery, right, and you looked at all the little babies and they were all lying there, just oodles of them. Hi, Dawn. Oodles of them. And you're just like, oh my gosh, they're just They're perfect in every way. Everything they desire can be theirs. Like they're just, bliss is their birthright. They're so deserving and worthy. So we're born this way. We're born like perfect and whole and beautiful, and bliss is our birthright, and our desires are beautiful. And then life happens. And then I think the rest of our life, maybe once we hit adulthood, is like returning home to ourselves in terms of creating that wholeness. So returning and putting back the pieces of ourselves, or reclaiming the pieces of ourselves to constantly return home to ourselves. So that's what I mean by the homecoming. I had a couple of clients this year. One of them said, oh no, I don't want to be home with myself. I try to be with myself as little as possible. That's a very dangerous place to be. And I want to say, I get that. I used to feel that way. The last place I wanted to be was inside my own brain, because that was a dangerous neighborhood to hang out in. You know, it was like, so that idea, while I think it's just glorious, like come home to yourself, you might be like, that is not some place I want to hang out. And so really the higher life is returning back to our wholeness, where it is a place you want to hang out. I had a client, we were doing an end of the year recap, and she said something that really just encapsulates the work that I do in the higher life. She said, I hired you because I wanted you to show me business strategy, and I had this business goal that I wanted to achieve. And you've done all that, but what you've really done is you've brought me home to myself. And now that I love myself and know myself, I literally could use any vehicle I wanted. That wouldn't really even matter, Dr. Erin. I could give me any vehicle to build a business, that I could do it because I have me, you know, and it's so cheesy, but like literally, I just want you to create a life that you're just obsessed with. I want you to be in love with your life. I want you to create a business you're in love with, life you're in love with. When you look in the mirror, I want you to like the person in the mirror, like them, not just love them, because we got family members we love, but we don't like sometimes, right? Like, I want you to like yourself. And so healing, I want to read to you just a paragraph from this book, The Myth of Normal, as we tee up our workshop to create a 2023 that's just the highest version of yourself. And thinking about how we're sold so much at this time of year, right? The consumeristic, capitalistic world we live in wants us to be broken. Because if we are broken, we'll spend money to get fixed, won't we? We will spend a lot of money to get fixed. And so a new paradigm. What if we're not broken? What if we need to just return to our wholeness? And he talks about healing, and he says, healing is not synonymous with self-improvement. Closer to the mark would be to say it is self-retrieval, retrieval of self. In fact, our modern self-improvement culture, which has to a large extent been co-opted by the same consumeristic forces responsible for the conditions we're chronicling here, our suffering, can too easily obscure or complicate the healing journey. When we heal, we are engaged in recovering our lost parts of self, not trying to change or better them. So, new year, better you? No, just more you. I just want more you. New year, more you. How does that feel to everybody? I want you to share with me what that shift in thinking feels like for you. What if we didn't have to become better? What if we just had to become more? That was from The Myth of Normal. Yep, by Dr. Gabor Mate. Then We Love the Way of Integrity. Okay, then this is one of my third favorite book of all time, The 7 Decisions by Andy Andrews. Oh, it's a classic. This is like the 7 decisions we make to lead a life where we are successful. And one of the things I teach in my mastermind, we're coming up on the 7 laws of spiritual success. And spirituality to me just means your relationship with your higher self. And for a lot of us, it's our higher power. But really there are 7 laws and 7 decisions. It's really exciting. So we go over all that in our mastermind, but I love that book. And then The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. This one needs to be studied over and over and over. This is not an easy read. This is an important read, but this kind of informs my work with this last book. So The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. That was written a long time ago, but it's really where like Bob Proctor and a lot of the greats, where they really studied and got a lot of their ideas from. And there's this little book. And if you've been following me, you've been seeing I've been doing a prosperity plan with this book. And this book, I didn't know so little. I bought it and it came. I'm like, oh, that's a book, but it's called The Abundance Book. And it's the smallest little book of abundance. And it's by John Randolph Price. And I don't know why I'd never heard about this book, but this book was written in 1986 and it has single-handedly changed my 2022. And it talks about kind of the spiritual nature of abundance and money, and that our source is, the divine within. And then it walks you through a 40-day meditation of what to think about and ponder and contemplate. And it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So The Abundance Book. I hope that blesses you. Now, you said The Artist's Way. Oh, yes. I've never read that, but Debbie's reading that. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so share your favorite books. I thought that would be fun. Okay, what was your favorite memory from 2022? Or like, what's one of the top ones? Something that was always on our vision board, my vision board, was to take my daughters to a concert, but like a real concert. And we went to Billie Eilish. And we were like 2 rows from the top. So we were in the nosebleed section, and it was like a mortgage payment to get our butts there. And my daughters were so mad that I spent the money, but I didn't care because it was a dream of mine. It was a vision. And every single moment of it was just miraculous and fun. And we were giddy and it was so fun. So that was one of my favorite memories of the year. And hiring Kara for the Higher Life. The Higher Life was born last January. So we just turned 1 year old. It was birthed, which is my company. It was birthed a year and a half ago on the treadmill at the gym. And I think I was, we were all kind of through the pandemic. We were going through all that. And I remember thinking, like, why aren't the personal development people of the world talking about our relationship with our higher power? I knew, like, especially the men that I was following for so many years, like I knew they had a deep faith. I knew that they had a deep connection, but they weren't really talking about it. And God was like, well, it's called the higher life. It's high performance fueled by your higher power. Now, again, your higher power can be your higher self. We can call it whatever you want to call it. But it was that idea was created about 18 months ago. And in this last year, we launched the Higher Life, and I had a desire to create a masterclass every single month. And we did that. We actually did more than one a month. So I have 15 masterclasses in the Higher Life. And the Higher Life is where you meet your truest, highest self. The Higher Life is where you climb your own mountain, your own Mount Everest, and become world-class. That's the Higher Life, where you take everything in your life higher, not because you're broken, but because that's what we're here to do. And growth and progress equals happiness, right? So, I'm reading The Myth of Normal, Debbie says. Ooh, love it. My gosh, The Myth of Normal is a doozy, man. People in our reading group were like, just make it end. I want it over because it's so true and it's so good. Concerts are my favorite. Yes. Oh, it was a good way to experience the collective soul. That's what's magical, isn't it, about concerts? You're like, oh, look at all the humans, and we're just dancing and we're singing together, like so many humans together. And no. Okay. And then of course I'm gonna give away 2 of these today. My book, the Mind Your Own Business, I would love to gift these to 2 people. I'll sign them and send them to you. But I do love this book. 21 Days to Train Your Brain for Unstoppable Success. It's like 25 years of psychology all in one little book. And oh, good, Georgina, done. And I saw who's on iPad. You said me? Yes. I don't share your name. You got it. One of the chapters in this book, I know, one of the chapters is called Ask and You Shall Receive. So I would like to honor the two people that said, I would like that book. And so there, done. Thank you. I love it. Okay. All right. What was, the other thing, the other thing I do to set up my year, which might be helpful for you. I learned this from Robin Sharma. He's one of the great gurus in the world. And he has a exercise that he has us do, and it is to make our top 10 priorities for the year. So I want you to think about maybe taking some time and writing down your top 10 priorities for the year. And I have mine posted here on my desk where I can see it every day. And then I had it in my planner. And I went back and they're like, you'll learn from our paradigm that we're doing today, the strategy we're doing today. These are like desires, values you have, things you, not necessarily specific goals, although it could be, but like, what are your top 10 priorities? Like mine was to have to continue to have a world-class marriage. Mine was to increase my circle of influence, which literally just means make more friends with women that were like just amazing women. And I found them. One was to increase my visibility using Reels, this thing that I have avoided for so many years. And I did it. I figured out Reels. 49-year-old, I figured it out. I know, we're gonna figure it out. So, another was like play. And so to me, that meant trying new restaurants and hiking. And I realized I didn't do as much hiking as I want to this next year. And so things like that. But the concept I want to share with you more than anything today is, I think you'll see, is the concept of intentional living, right? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to walk a couple people through an exercise. If you want to be laser coached by me, hot seat coaching, whatever you might call it, but I'm going to walk a couple people through a strategy that will help you really realize what you want and why you want it. So it's a strategy. Let me just set it up so you know what you're saying yes to before you say, yes, I would like to, but, oh, awesome. First, what I want you to do right now is I want you to write down, all of you, I want you to write down, or in your mind's eye, pick one big desire you have for the next year. You can then also, I highly suggest you also do this for like 5 to 10 years, or maybe even your legacy. But for today's exercise, we're going to do, what is a desire? Some might call it a goal. What is a desire you have that you want to see happen, accomplish this year, so that by January 1st, 2024, and it might be an income goal. It might be a expanding your reach kind of visibility goal. It might be I want to grow my team kind of goal. It might be a health goal. One of the things that I want to show you with this exercise is what Simon Sinek says: when you know your why, you can, withstand any how. Like, and you've probably heard that before. That's not a new concept. Like, what's your why? But I'm going to show you how to actually get there. And you're going to see that the reason that you want the things that you want in your life is usually because of how you will feel when you get the thing that you desire and who you will be. And without giving the punchline away, as we go through 2 or 3 people, I think you'll find that we all kind of end up at the same place. And it will show us what we actually truly desire. And so instead of goal setting, you're going to see, like, this is truly a declaration of things you desire. And I don't know if you know this, but I learned in 2022 the word desire means of God. And I truly believe that if there is a desire placed on your heart and it does not hurt someone else, that it is meant for you, and that our purpose of our life really is to like almost like follow the breadcrumbs that God lays in our path, the universe, what you call it, from one breadcrumb to the next, from one desire to the next, and always walking in this duality of gratitude for where we are and desire for where we want next. And you see then that your desire for more is not because you are ungrateful for what you have. So many of us women struggle with that. If you ever struggle with that or have, say me. But it's like, well, does that just mean I'm greedy? Does that mean I'm ungrateful? Does that mean that I'm materialistic? No. Remember, if you were a baby in the nursery and you became a child that had desires, they were okay at some point. So at some point, we learned otherwise. So if I desire, for example, to live in Cabo with Garth, which I do, does that make me greedy, materialistic? Some might think so. Some might say, wow, why can't you be grateful for your beautiful house you have? And I say, I am both at the same time. I am so grateful for all that I have, and I would like to live in Cabo. That is how I would like to live as a human on this planet, right at the beach with guacamole. That's how I'd like to live, right? Like, so we have 3 kids. Our youngest, Zachary, is 11, and he's been a car guy for years and loves cars. And he said to me, like last year, he's like, Mom, I want 7 cars. And he was like, I want a Lamborghini for this. And then on the weekends, I want this. And then I want a McLaren for this. And I'm like, who am I to say he can't have all that, right? Like hello, I'm Dr. Erin. I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And where do we say that's too much? And why? If cars are to Zachary, the way that he can most highly express himself, then the Cabo house is the same for me. If luxury is how I find a high expression of myself, then wanting luxury is not bad. If living in a cabin in the woods by nobody is the dream, that's not bad. Like there's no, right? So, okay, so we have our goal, our desire for the next year in mind. Okay. If I'm going to start with iPad. Okay. I'm going to start with iPad walking through this, but if anyone wants to share their goal for the next year, I would love to hear it in the chat room. And I'm going to walk you through an exercise that I call Go So That Yourself. And really what we're going to do is we're going to go like 8 or 9 levels deep of why do you want the thing? And you'll see that I'm going to coach you, and I'm going to start a sentence, and then I'm going to ask you to fill in the sentence. There's no right or wrong way to fill in the sentence. The right way is your way. Kate, thank you. Triple your income. I love that specificity. I love it. Okay. And I want you all to kind of watch this as our first person goes, but I'm going to ask you a question, tee it up, and it's like you're going to fill in the sentence with me. Okay. And then I'm going to ask you about that. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, I want to triple my income. Okay. Why do you want that? Tripling my income is something that is really exciting to me because, and you're going to answer that. And then I'm going to take you to the layer below that one. And then we're going to go the layer below that one. And we're going to go 8 or 9 layers below. So do this along with me for your own goal, or just watch us do this. But I want you to know, again, there are no wrong answers. You can totally trust me. And whoever is willing to go is going to be such a blessing to everyone else on the Zoom. So, okay, does iPad want to go? You want to unmute yourself? Okay, great. Unmute yourself, my darling.
Hello.
Hi, tell everyone your name.
I'm Sandra Smith, and I'm very excited to be here.
Okay.
And my
Yes.
My big goal
For the year.
I love this. I love this whole the way you're laying this all out. My goal is to build a business that provides me with an additional $33,000 a month.
Oh my God. This is so bizarre. Sandra, my ideal goal is 33,000 a month.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
To a T. Okay. So fill this in. So, Dr. Erin, the reason I want 33,000 a month, I want to create a business that's bringing in 33,000 a month is, if that were to happen,
I can do more of what I've already started doing to help people and to, make the difference that I want to make in the world.
great. And Dr. Erin, when I say I want to help people and make a difference in the world, the reason that's so important to me is,
well, my whole life I've been involved with charities and supporting others. And I'm now, a few years ago, I went and helped build a school in Africa. And I feel that, when I was working full time and raising kids, I was so busy just getting through and not really able to commit to the charities and the work that I want to do and all the travel that I want to do. I mean, I'm doing tons of traveling. 2022, I was gone for 6 months of the year, which was fabulous. I want to be able to, I guess, have more freedom with it, so that if I have the extra income, it will just alleviate a lot of pressure, so that I can have. I guess it's about freedom.
And awesome, you're doing great. And you know what, Dr. Erin, when I think about this desire on my heart to help people, it might seem like, well, doesn't everyone have that desire? But for me, my desire to help people comes from
How I was raised. So we lived in different countries growing up, and I saw a lot of poverty. And my parents, without my knowledge, essentially adopted my best friend and his family in Madrid, Spain. Paid for them, he and his brother go to private school, and paid for their university, and never ever told me that they did that for him. And this was my best friend, like I met him at age 2 in Madrid, Spain. And we lived in this mansion with full staff, and he lives in a renovated public toilet.
And what, you're doing great. And when I think of not fulfilling that mission on the planet, it makes me feel
sad, disappointed in myself. If I couldn't, I feel like I've been working on this and building the ideas and learning, doing a ton of learning. And I feel like now it is the time to act and to make things happen and to have, my ideas put into fruition. And otherwise, I do feel like I would be really disappointing myself by not fulfilling my dream of having a tremendous life. Like I feel like my whole life has been amazing, but I feel like I want more, and I want more for myself and for my family. I want to be able to, say, hey, you guys want to go on a trip and rent a yacht and invite people and pay for them to come join. But I also want to be able to continue the work that I'm doing in Africa.
Okay, so you're doing amazing. So, when I told you, Dr. Erin, that I want the pressure to go away. The Sandra that is less pressured, the reason I want to be less pressured is the Sandra who's less pressured
is far more creative.
Oh my gosh.
And
okay.
Far more able to go with my ideas that I have. I always have these big ideas, and I really want to be able to, follow them through. Things always seem to get in the way.
And whether I think of time, the woman, and living my life on this planet as the woman that created what she wanted to create, to me, that would feel like
Amazing. Would feel so powerful and so free and just so joyful. And I feel like my life would be even more filled with love.
mm, I feel like we got there, but are you feeling complete, Sandra?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel I feel
Your
good
high-
about this.
Your highest self is creative, loving, abundant, helping others. You want to fulfill freedom. To you is living out your creativity for the sake of being, for the joy of creating.
Yes.
Oh, you would. Okay, beautiful. That would, everyone give her a round of applause. That was so beautiful. It's not about 33
Thank you.
a month. It's about freedom. You're like, look at me creating a life where I'm creative, and that is freedom to me. And I bet when you think about being a creative, loving, free person, that would have an effect on the people in your life, and you would lead a legacy of freedom, creativity, love, helping, all the things. So when Sandra goes and sells some hand cream, she's not selling hand cream, is she, Sandra? No, you are living. Look at me selling a hand cream and leaving a legacy of love, freedom, help, and creativity. Look at me selling travel and leaving a legacy of freedom for my family. Look at me selling CBD and fulfilling my life's purpose, which is to creatively and express myself at the highest level, which happens to serve other people, which is a beautiful, noble mission, right? So linking up all that you're doing. Okay, good. Thank you, Sandra.
Well, thank you, Dr. Erin. That's wonderful.
You're welcome. Who would like to go next? Georgina, are you talking? I'm mute.
Yes, there you go. So I had put in the chat, I guess my end goal is to create an extraordinary life.
Okay, so
Um,
if I can have your permission to just walk you through this, okay, just go with me, because it's going to be so helpful to people, because so many people are like, I just want a freaking extraordinary life. Okay, I just want a life of freedom and all the things. Okay, so we have to reverse engineer, and you'll see why. What do you want in the next year?
so what led me to this is I first had to find my purpose, right? So first was, what's my purpose? Why am I here? And then once I found that, I was like, okay, so now I want to create an extraordinary life. So basically what that is for me is to touch lives, inspire others by fulfilling my passion, right? My purpose, which is the ability to help others. And the reason why I feel that's my purpose in life is because I've had about, no joke, 10 careers.
Okay,
And the two that has been,
I'm going to stop you out of love, because you said you trusted me. So what is the goal this year? What are we want? How many, maybe it's how many lives, or how you want to touch lives this year?
Oh, so for this year, would be to create opportunity. So I own two companies. So growth, right? So
Ooh.
by growing my company and growing together as individuals.
And what I mean, Dr. Erin, by growing my company is specifically means
hiring, right? New relationships, new connections.
how many people would you like to hire?
So for the real estate, I want to cap out at 25. We're at 10, so 15.
Okay.
And for the plumbing company, I would like 25 because we're at 5 and I want 30 by the end of the year.
Okay, got it. 25. Okay. So look at, I through my plumbing business and my real estate business, I am creating an extraordinary life and helping others do the same. And so my goal is what you just said. It's 25 in real estate, 30 in plumbing business. And the reason I want those numbers is
Um, well, I'm not sure why I came up with those numbers. But the reason I want to stop at that is because then I can just focus on them. So first it would be growing the company, right? By bringing bodies in and then growing them.
so many, say me, if you've done what Georgina's done, because I've done it. I did it with my first coach. She was like, what's your goal? I said, well, 20,000 a month. And she's like, are you sure? Like, where'd that number come from? And I said, I have no idea where that number came from. And when we looked at it, it really wasn't 20. It was a different number and blah, blah, blah. But I want you to really look at that piece. So this is why we start so big and we think, I don't know. I just want freedom. It's like, but what does that actually look like? And then we're going to link it up and it's going to be so intoxicatingly exciting to you. Okay. So first and foremost, we have to figure out if those numbers are correct for you. Is that indeed correct? 25 and 30.
So I guess that's my homework assignment, is figuring out if those numbers are what I'm shooting for based off a number, right?
Great. I love it. For the sake of today, then let's just assume they are.
Okay.
And then go with me here. So the reason I've chosen 30 and 25 is, Dr. Erin, there's a reason for that. And let me tell you about it. The reason I want 25 and 30 is
because that's the number of people I want to touch. I see where you're going. Like, you want me to attach this to a number, but I haven't even thought of it as income wise.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
no, this is beautiful.
yeah,
You might not be driven by the income of it.
yeah.
You might be driven by some other metric. So around 30 and 25 and 30 feels right, Dr. Erin, because
So again, those are the number of lives I want to touch, the number of people I want to be able to inspire.
there you go. And you know what? When I think of next year saying, Dr. Erin, we did it. 30 people in the plumbing business, 25 in real estate. Oh, it's so beautiful because
because then I will have seen growth through them personally and through them with the business.
awesome.
And then in return, yes, the dollars, will come.
And Dr. Erin, I want to help people by employing them because
then I'm helping them reach their goals, I guess. They're being able to provide for their families, whichever that may be. Some are single, some only have spouses, and some actually have, a family to take care of and support.
And awesome, you're doing great. And the reason why that's so important to me is, when I think about, I want to help people have some more freedom in their life. That's important to me because
well, it's important to me because I just, when I see people around me, when they're struggling, or when parents have to work, 2-3 jobs, and then they're not being able to be present in their children's life. So like at the real estate company, I train on balance, life balance, right? You're going to incorporate your business into your lifestyle. This way you can be present in your children's life. So I'm not really sure I'm going to tie that into plumbing, because they are like 7 to 5 versus the real estate where we can tweak hours. But I just want them to be able to, put a roof over their head and food on the table and clothes on their back.
Great. And you know what, Dr. Erin, what I've realized about money is, money really is
I haven't really thought of that.
Yeah, it's okay. You're doing great. Oh my gosh. So when I think of like, I want to employ someone in the plumbing business, I know they will make a paycheck and be able to provide for their families. And so I really, that's a big deal to me, because money really just is, maybe it's
It's a source.
source. Yes.
Mhm.
And when people have control over their lives financially, when they can provide for themselves, they're
Not stressed.
okay. And when people aren't stressed, they,
Can be happy.
okay, so perhaps you're selling happiness, Georgina. Oh my gosh, plumbing is your gateway to happiness. Do you see, Georgina? You're on a mission to help people be happy. We all are, but you are. That will give you a sense of radical fulfillment. Yes.
Mhm.
What would be the greatest text you could get from someone that has been in your plumbing business for a year and they're thanking you? What would you like them to say to you? What would be the greatest thing that they could text you? Because of you, Georgina, I just have to thank you, Georgina. Because of you and this job, I
Was able to buy a house, was able to pay off a credit card, a vehicle, put my child through college.
was able to say yes. Yeah, to things I wanted to say yes to. Does that feel complete to you, Georgina?
Mhm.
You did it. That was beautiful. Thank you for letting me intervene and coach you through that. You know, for you, an extraordinary life. This is what we all want. We all want happiness, an extraordinary life, freedom. We want to live life on our own terms. And you have a plumbing business as your vehicle. I have a different business as my vehicle. We all have different vehicles. But now you can say, okay, 25 people. Okay, let's go find them. I'm looking for people who are looking for me. I'm looking to hire 25 people. I love, Georgina, what you're saying, because I think so many of us can relate to it. It's like, yes, I want the money. I'm not going to say I don't want the money, but I know the money will come if I live out my mission. You know, if you hire 25 people and 30 people, you're going to make money. That's just a given. You're going to set yourself free by setting other people free.
Yeah, because their success will be my success.
Exactly. It's like, I don't want to just be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire because I know I'm going to have to touch a lot of lives in order to be a millionaire. And that sounds really fun to me, you know? And so when you understand your purpose on the planet, and oh, by the way, if anyone here wants your purpose on the planet, I'll give it to you. It's 2 steps. Okay. So this is your purpose on the planet. First question is, what are you gifted with or good at, or what lights you up, what brings you joy? And the second question is, what breaks your heart? And my friends, if you can find a way to meet both of those, that's your purpose on the planet. What do I mean by what breaks your heart? What breaks your heart? Like what is it about this world that makes you say, I want that to be different? For me, it's, I want people to feel worthy. Well, usually that comes from a lifetime of struggling with the thing, right? So I struggled with worthiness, and now I want to set the captives free. And I know what that means. And my vehicle just happens to be coaching and all these other things, right? And so I can link that up, and I can say my purpose on the planet is to set the captives free. I want you to be able to know your purpose on the planet, so that if I knocked on your door, Mariah, at 2 a.m. and I woke you up and I said, what's your purpose on the planet? You'd be like, no, you would know exactly what it is. And then I want you to get so clear on it that other people would know. Your first was, what are you gifted with? What are you great at? What's your strength? You've been given, that's a spiritual gift. Your spirituality is your relationship with your highest self. What is that? My gift, if you haven't thought about what your gift is, do that this week. My gift is seeing people. My gift is seeing people. Okay, well, how can I get compensated for that? Oh, I could be a coach. Okay, let's do that. I could be a psychologist. Seeing people. Yes, Kara, you found your purpose on the planet in our first session. You can share it here with people. Love your purpose on the planet. Okay, we've got time for one more person to go through the Go So That Yourself exercise. Would someone like to go? You did great, Georgina. Anyone else want laser coaching? Okay. Okay. So that's okay. We got two. That was amazing. Congrats. Good job, you guys. Okay. So when you know the why, that is your mission. So my definition of motivation is a little different than maybe you've heard. And so if you're saying, I just don't feel motivated, I'm just not feeling it, it just means to me, you have forgotten your mission. So let's play around with this concept of what is your mission? I had someone last week in our team call say, I want to make this amount of money because I want to leave a legacy of joy and fun. Well, why was that important? Because they were in poverty growing up. They never had fun. So he can now say, look at me leaving a legacy of fun and joy by going to work or by selling these things, by, selling a widget, you're leaving your legacy of joy. I mean, and then linking it up, like I said, of a great phrase that's helped me is just this phrase of look at me. And so it's like, look at me setting the captives free by making a post on Facebook. Well, you might say that's a little ridiculous. You've not set anyone free. Well, no, it all matters. And it's all the behavioral actions of moving my mission forward. So the question to ask yourself for motivation is, am I serving others greatly? The question to ask to determine your motivation is, am I serving others greatly? Who's counting on me to be on my A game? Am I showing up as that? So if you say, I'm not feeling motivated, it just means you have forgotten your mission. So if we're talking about intentions, which we are, be really, really intentional of visiting your mission and your desires regularly. I suggest daily. And what I mean by visit them, I mean visualize. Imagine. Here's the craziest thing about the higher life, and this is why people, come into our programs, is it's this great paradox that in order to have the thing that you want, you have to be that now. So I'm going to walk you through, there's 3 I's that I want you to think about as you think about 2023 and your big desire. The 3 I's are identity, implementation, and integration. Identity, implementation, integration, or identity, implement, integrate. This is what's going to pull you instead of you having to push. Who here would like to stop pushing and trying to make things happen so much, right? Who would like to just be pulled by the flow and the ease of the stream? You're just lying on the stream. You're just being pulled into abundance. Sandra's just being pulled into all the ways she can serve people. She's not pushing it. She's not trying to make it happen. Okay. It's the great paradox, right? Of I don't have to push. I just need to be pulled by my mission. Okay. So identity, it means, okay, who would I need to be to reach that, to achieve that, to experience that desire? Maybe even come up with, a couple words that would describe who you would need to be for that to happen. If my goal is to lose 30 pounds this year, And I've determined, because I want to feel comfortable in my skin. And when I'm comfortable in my skin, I'm a nicer mom. And that's important to me because I want to leave a legacy of, you know, all the things, right? You could do that. You could tie all of that up, right? Your identity, who would I need to be to lose 30 pounds? What are some words that come to mind, right? Put those in the chat room. Like, that's the identity. What would that person's identity need to be? Patient, faithful, it's so crazy, right? To be fit, you have to be fit now. To be patient, to become a patient woman, you have to be a patient woman. It's like, so it's not like rocket science, but when you, well, how do I become more patient and faithful to my dream? You practice patience and faithfulness. What does that look like? You practice being patient in the moment. You practice, you know, I'm doing a workshop for, you know, 14 beautiful humans. It matters. No, I don't have $1 million deposited into my bank account the second we get off here. Patience, faithfulness. So people say, Dr. Erin, you're the most productive person I've ever met. How do you get so much done? I'm just so crystal clear on my purpose. I don't work harder. I just work so intentionally because I visit my dream and my desire every day. I visit my Cabo house so much that the checkout lady at the grocery store last week, Ada is her name, said, have you built the house in Cabo yet? I'm like, oh my God, I told the woman at the grocery store about my Cabo house. Like, it's just, Garth and I talk about the Cabo house all the time. And it makes me appear insanely productive. Productivity, by the way, is, are you moving the needle on what matters most? Not hours worked. Are you moving the needle on what matters most? That's productivity, my friends. You want to be productive this next year? Go and find the 25 people in the real estate and the 30 in the plumbing. That's it. Laser focused. Is what I'm doing building that? That's the question. So another thing I want you to think of is run all your decisions by your desires first. I want you to make some declarations for 2023. Instead of goals, I want you to make promises. Now, what's the difference? A promise is, and I'll get back to the 3 I's, but a promise is a value, a direction you want to live in. Okay, so let me give you a quick example. Kara is getting married in April to John. And can you imagine? Okay, I'm going to show you the difference between a goal and a promise. Can you imagine if John was like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, my goal is to stay married to Kara for the rest of my life. My goal is to be faithful. No, you'd be like, what? No, you make a promise. I promise to be faithful. I promise to put you first. I promise to love you for the rest of my life. What do you need to do? What promises do you need to make to yourself? One, so that you can start to keep these promises, which builds confidence. So confidence is I keep the promises I make to myself. So start out with promises you can actually keep to yourself. But notice and play around with some promises around values. I'll give you an example. I promise to be faithful to my dream. I promise to always come from a place of curiosity. I promise to put my marriage as highly important and tend to my marriage. There is no arrival date for a promise, isn't there? It's like a direction in which we are living. It's like a compass. It's a values clarification exercise, really, is what promises are. I promise to be a woman who values her health. I promise to be a woman who adds value to those in her life. I promise to live with intention. Okay. Okay. So the identity, what kind of identity are you going to need? I would need to be in order to fulfill your desire. The second is implement. Okay. It's just a fancy word for what would I need to do? Like, what would that woman do? Well, if that woman wanted to lose 30 pounds, that woman would probably, figure out how to eat healthy and move her body. It's kind of simple in terms of the actions. Okay. Now, do you see why identity is so important? Because if the actions were all it took, if the information was all it took to create a 2023, if information was all you needed, we'd all be rich and skinny and happy and free. And we live in a land where we have more information, that a time where we have all the information we ever need, don't we? We all know how. It's not information, it's integration. It's integration. So the third step is integration. Another word for this could be embodiment. You hear this word a lot now, embodiment. What does embodiment mean? To me, the simplest version is you take a thought and you move your body. You take a thought and you embody, you take action, you take aligned action. If my value is to be fit and I eat like a jerk, I am not in integrity. It's going to be really hard to dig myself if I'm not in integrity. The way home to yourself is the way of integrity. Integrity means to become whole, to not have two selves, to not, be like I was, where I was always starting on Monday. It was like, be in integrity. It's the path to happiness, is to live in integrity. And the coolest thing is your integrity, who you're trying to return home to, gets to be whatever you want it to be. Again, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, which it's not going to, not you beautiful people on this Zoom. That's your path to success, is the way of integrity. The cure for unhappiness is integrity. We all just want our version of happiness, don't we? For Zachary, it happens to include Lamborghinis and McLarens. For me, it happens to include a house in Cabo. For Sandra, it includes building homes for people in poverty in some far off land. That's happiness to her, right? Right? So again, if desire is from God, that just means you are able to fully express your highest version of your highest self while on this planet. What's the identity I need to be that woman? Put those words in front of your mind. Put them on the dashboard of your brain. Put them on sticky notes. Put them on your screensaver. Visit your dreams every day. Your brain doesn't know how to do anything other than take a snapshot of your desire and create it as a memory of your future that it then goes about getting to work to create and to make happen. It is so cool. Your brain is a goal-achieving machine. It doesn't know how not to do it. I don't know when I will be in Cabo. I just have to be the woman that says, I'm going to stick around and find out. Do you see? Are you a woman of faithfulness? Can you be faithful to your dream? Can you say, I will not give my dream a deadline? And I will work with intention and the identity of who I need to be now to achieve that. And by the way, God, I would like it to happen, by 2024, but you remain open. Faith is not knowing how it turns out. Its faith is, I'm going to be the woman to find out how. The thing I've learned the most in 2022, and we'll wrap up in a couple minutes here, is what we really need is faithfulness. It's so not sexy. Can you imagine? Come to a 3-day workshop on how to be patient and faithful in your life, and how to play the long game, and let this take 27 years. No one would come to my workshop. But swear to God, if you know that this is true, say me. I mean, this is true. How do you stay faithful? You keep your mission, and your mission. Because when the times get tough, where you get tired, you're human, you're going to want to drop the mission if you're not deeply embedded with the mission. And the mission is never about the thing. It's about who you become when you reach the thing. It's always about who we are when we're doing the thing. It's not about the Louis Vuitton purse. It's not about that. And I want all the Louis. I am available for all the Louis. Okay. But it's not about that. It's the highest expression of myself when I'm holding a Louis. I can't explain it. I'm not going to defend it. It just happens. Okay. Kara, did we get the names of the book winners? We did, right? Okay. So I am going to share with you briefly the exciting ways you can work with me in 2023. If you're feeling complete and you want to leave, that's so wonderful. I want to hear what your identity words might be to describe yourself. I want you to go so that yourself 8 to 9 levels deep, starting with your goal for 2023. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to make sure I said. And okay, remember, 2023 is a time of healing, which can be a homecoming. We never arrive. It's a constant homecoming, coming home to ourselves, becoming more whole. A movement towards wholeness is what healing is. A movement towards more of you. The world is a better place when there's more of Sandra. The world is a better place when we get more of Kara. The world is a better place when we get more of Dawn. Not when she becomes better or more successful. We just want more of you. That is why riches and rich, the definition to me of rich is just being able to live your life in the way that you want to express your life. That's money just happens to be the way we do that. I truly realized that this year too. I'm 49 years old, you guys. I've been working on my money mindset for years. Anybody? Like, I've been working at this. I'm like, what is this? And literally this year I learned money is just, it goes in, it comes out. Money wants to be moved. Money wants to be celebrated when it comes. Money wants to go out. Money doesn't want to sit like in a bathtub where it just gets all, stale and no, it moves, it goes in and out. So now when we pay our bills, Garth says, I'm just, it goes in and it comes out. It's just like breathing. I'm just breathing over here, and you realize it's like, so not about the money. It's only about the money when you don't have the money. It's like, I want that for all of you. I want you to neutralize money, and that's some of the work we do. But okay, so very quickly, next week, there is a workshop called The Paradox. And we're going to be talking about just some major realizations I've had this year about what it actually means to be a human and how this pertains to us building a business and how to reconcile the great paradox. A paradox is a contradiction, right? How is it that in my stillness, I actually get more done? How is it that by surrendering, I actually win? How is it that by quitting, I'm a winner? There's some great paradoxes in this journey of entrepreneurship, the journey of business building, the journey of being a human. How is it that when I feel my negative feelings, that's actually the pathway to make them go away? That's a big paradox. How is it that when I allow the how and am not addicted to strategy, that the how actually appears? How is it that the more successful I become, the less effort I'm actually making? There's so many paradoxes. And I want to share with you a way of thinking about these and really holding the duality of what it means to be human in a way that I think will really contribute to your faithfulness to your dream. And it will make the journey so much more enjoyable. So the workshop, thank you, Kara. She posted that. It's next Wednesday. There's a lifetime replay. It's only $20.23. So it's 2023. It's called The Paradox. I think it's gonna be really fun. Second, we have my mastermind called Ascente. And that is where we meet weekly with other success-driven women that want to live the higher life. That is the business, sales, and high performance mastermind, where we cover everything. We cover everything. You get full access to all of my masterclasses. You get hot seat coaching every single week. You can do 6 months or a year. imagine where your life will be a year from now. Ascente is a masterpiece. Ascente is the work of my lifetime. Everything is in Ascente: spirituality, sales, business, influence. Oh, Ascente is, it's so beautiful. And of course, I have one-on-one coaching. If you want to look into that, one-on-one coaching, you always get Ascente, you get everything. And you also have me in your back pocket in this thing called Voxer. It's like a walkie-talkie. So you have access to laser coaching in between sessions and Monday through Friday. It's magical. But that, of course, is completely customized to you. And then the last thing I want to share is I'm starting a health and wellness 15-day melt away the fat, melt away the negative thoughts, melt away all the things that aren't serving you challenge, I guess you'd call it, but it's 15 days. All you have to do is buy the supplements, which are like your protein shakes and all the high performance products that I use, your metabolism booster, your detox, your energy drink. You get all of the supplements, all the high performance supplements for $199. And then I'm throwing in my $1,000 Fit Free and Aligned course. But in the 15-day melt away challenge, you're going to get some mindset training from me. So, we really believe, the team and I, Garth and I, that no one achieves greatness by stepping over their health. If you look at the happiest people on the planet, they're the healthiest. They don't become successful because in spite of their health. They don't become successful because they put their health on a back burner and they're not sleeping as much. They're not successful because they are sleeping less or doing more. They're successful because they're actually taking the best care of their health, which is a great paradox again. So if you want to learn about the 15-day melt away, let me know. And then next week, I'm making a huge announcement in the Paradox for a whole new program where you can be coached by me for less than $80 a month. So I'm really excited. That was dropped and downloaded into me a couple days ago. It's going to be magnificent, but I am so thankful you've been here. Thank you, everybody. Come over into the Higher Life. Tell us what you're chewing on, what you learned. Oh, good. Okay, we'll reach out. What are the promises you want to make to yourself? What's the identity you need? Who would you need to be? You know the answers. Watch what happens when you start behaving in line with that identity. That's when it gets giggly good. Giggly good, people. You're like, I like myself. I'm a woman of integrity. And when you're a woman of integrity, you can be faithful. You can be faithful to your dream. I love you all. I wish you everything you wish for yourself in 2023. Yeah, thanks for being here. Bye, everybody. You're welcome.